Have you ever just stood there and watched a swarm of aphids completely destroy a plant you've spent weeks nurturing? Man, it is incredibly frustrating to see your hard work chewed up, ruined, and, well, turned into an all-you-can-eat aphid buffet. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to break down the ultimate guide to a natural, budget-friendly pest defense system that will absolutely change the way you look at growing plants. Okay, let's kick things off with a number 20. The source material we're looking at today comes from a gardener with just an unbelievable track record. We're talking over 20 years of growing food in spaces as small as a kitchen windowsill without a single pest season or chemical spray. Literally not one aphid swarm, 0 whitefly clouds, just completely pest-free for over 2 decades.
Now, achieving this requires a pretty massive paradigm shift. As our source perfectly captures, the trick isn't killing bugs, it's building a garden they don't want to visit in the first place. You see, pests naturally target weak, stressed plants. If we can make the garden an unappealing, really tough target, they just won't stick around. They'll just fly right over and move on to an easier yard down the street.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. The paradigm shift. 2. The 5-step defense. 3. Common mistakes to avoid. And 4. The secret weekly recipe. Okay, let's dive into this. And stick around for that secret recipe at the end, because it's a real game changer.
Starting right off with Section 1, the paradigm shift. Treat the cause, not the symptom. Basically, reacting to bugs with panic sprays is a losing game. The conditions that invited the pests have already been sitting there for weeks. Moving right along to Section 2, the 5-step defense, from balconies to raised beds. And the great thing here is that these core tactics work universally, whether you've got a massive backyard or a tiny apartment window.
Here's a quick rundown of the 5 actionable steps we'll be tackling to build this defense. Feed soil, start clean, mix plantings, invite predators, and finally, air, water, and walk. Let's actually break down the specific mechanics of each one so you can start using them right away.
Step 1 is all about feeding the soil, not the plant. A lot of folks reach for a bag of synthetic fertilizers to push really fast, lush growth, but that ends up creating soft, sappy, watery leaves. Aphids and whiteflies absolutely love this stuff. You're basically setting a dinner table with a neon sign for them. But when you use natural compost and worm castings, your plants develop tough, dark green, really sturdy growth that naturally screens out half your trouble before it even begins.
All right, step 2 is starting clean. You can do literally everything else right and still lose the season if you accidentally carry the problem home with you. You've got to shut the front door on pests. So, whenever you buy a new plant, flip every single leaf over to check for hidden eggs. They usually just look like little specks of dust. Then, definitely quarantine that new plant for 3 to 5 days just to be super safe. Oh, and always remember to scrub out your recycled containers, because last year's dirt can easily hide last year's pest eggs. Step 3 is mixing up your plantings. If you plant a solid block of just one crop, you're essentially building a tidy pest highway. Pests hunt by scent, right? So a neat row is like an airport runway pointing directly to their favorite buffet. Instead, you want to create a confusing jumble. Try tucking in aromatic herbs like basil, chives, and rosemary. Their strong smells throw a sort of blanket over the scent trail, and it confuses the pests so much that they just give up and fly away. And within this mixed planting strategy is an absolutely genius trick. The trap crop. You purposefully plant something, say nasturtiums, right near your vegetables. Aphids actually prefer the taste of nasturtiums over your expensive tomatoes or beans. They'll completely pile onto the cheap trap crop, and once it's covered, you just pull the plant and toss it in the trash. Boom, you've taken the whole pest colony out with it.
Now, to prove this works anywhere, let's look at the mentor from our source material, Gloria. For over 20 years, Gloria has run this exact mixed planting system on a 4th-floor balcony in San Francisco. The whole shebang is entirely in containers, it's completely pest-free, and she has never had to spray a thing. Her balcony isn't neat. It's this happy mess of tomatoes next to basil next to flowers. Tidy is for show, you guys, but mixed up, that is for real protection.
Moving to step 4, invite the predators. You're definitely not the only one who wants those pests gone. By letting small herbs like sweet alyssum, dill, and cilantro go to flower, you're providing nectar that attracts the real heavy hitters. Ladybugs, lacewings, and hoverflies. Get this, one single hoverfly larva can eat hundreds of aphids. But there is a super strict rule here. Absolutely never use chemical or even organic sprays. Even a basic organic insect soap is going to kill these helpful predators, totally wiping out your free labor.
Finally, step 5 ties the whole defense system together: air, water, and walk. Make sure to space your plants out so breezes can move freely through the leaves. Stagnant air is basically a humid playground for pests. Next, water the soil right at the base of the plant, not the leaves, and try to do it in the morning. And most importantly, take a 30-second daily walk to check your plants. If you catch a problem when it's just 3 bugs, well, you can just squish them. You'll never wake up to a sudden infestation of 300. All right, section 3, common mistakes to avoid, the hidden pitfalls. Let's look at the things that silently undo all the hard work we just talked about.
So the crucial point is knowing exactly how to correct these habits. Mistake number 1 is panicking and spraying at the very first sign of a bug. The fix? Just be patient. Wait and let those predators show up. Mistake 2 is using high nitrogen fertilizers to force growth. Actually, scratch that. Fix it by feeding your soil slowly with compost. And mistake 3 is crowding your plants and watering them overhead at night, which creates a nasty humid trap. The fix is simple. Space them out for airflow and water the soil directly in the morning.
Which brings us to Section 4, the secret weekly recipe, Ultimate Plant Health. This is the one used by both our source and Gloria.
So what is it? It's a simple kelp and molasses spray. Used weekly, this foliar spray provides essential trace minerals and feeds all those beneficial microbes. But listen, the true purpose of this spray isn't to poison the bugs at all. It's actually to fundamentally change the plant itself, making it an incredibly bad, unappetizing target for any pest that's just looking for an easy meal.
Here is the exact recipe you're going to use once a week. Take 1 tablespoon of liquid kelp, 1 teaspoon of unsulfured molasses, and mix them right into 1 gallon of water. You just mist this lightly over the leaves in the early morning. And why does this work so incredibly well? Well, the kelp toughens the cell walls of the leaf, making them really firm and sturdy. The molasses feeds the beneficial microbes. Together, this stops the plant from sending out those faint chemical stress signals that scream "easy meal" to pests. The bugs literally just cruise right past it looking for something weaker.
Wow! Okay, we've covered a lot of really fascinating ground today. We've gone from shifting how we even view pests to scrambling their senses with mixed scents to inviting free predator labor, and finally, toughening up our leaves with that secret kelp spray. You now have the exact blueprint to build a garden pests just do not want to visit. So what's your big takeaway here? Which step are you going to try first to build your own living defense system? Are you going to mix up the secret spray this weekend? Or maybe plant a simple nasturtium trap crop? The choice is entirely yours, but the knowledge is now in your hands. Get out there and start building your defense today.